kids, today I want to just briefly talk to you about the northern leopard frog. The northern leopard frog is found in the upper part of the country. We can see here in Wisconsin we have the northern leopard frog found everywhere across the state, as well as Minnesota and Iowa and Michigan. So we could find this frog, the scientific name for the leopard frog is Rana pipiens. And it's unique to the northern portion of our country and then a little bit on the southwestern portion of the country as well. So what does the northern leopard frog look like? They are medium-sized frogs. They are about 4 inches long in length of body. They are semi-aquatic, which means they live on the land, but they also live in the water. They have green to brown back with dark colored spots and lines. So we can see that there's some variety in their coloring, but in general we're going to see these dark spots, which is where they get their name leopard frog, just like a leopard has spots over its outer fur. So if we look at the underside of the frog, we can see it's a creamy color. It can be light yellow to off-white, and it is solid in color with no spots on the bottom. That makes it harder for fish underneath the water to see them when they're floating on the surface, because as they look up at the white clouds in the sky, they don't notice the leopard frog because of its light underbelly. So what does a leopard frog eat? They prefer insects and small animals that live in the water. And here we can see 2 leopard frogs that are fighting over a worm. And what likes to eat leopard frogs? Snakes, fish, foxes, raccoons, and birds like to eat them. Here we can see a kingfisher bird, which lives near waterways and ponds. It has found an unlucky leopard frog as a snack. And what noise does a leopard frog make? Oftentimes when you go by a pond in the spring or summer, you can hear frogs of all different types making lots of different noises. Here is an example of what the leopard frog sounds like. Some people say it sounds like a finger being scraped across a balloon when it's inflated. So it's kind of a unique sound that leopard frogs make. If we look at the life cycle of a frog, they start out as tiny eggs, which are laid 3,000 to 6,000 at a time in the water where they can be kept moist. And from there they would develop into tadpoles. So here's a leopard frog that is a tadpole, but we can see legs are starting to develop right here. And as those legs continue to develop, eventually this tail will fall off and disappear, and there'll be only legs remaining. So they start out with gills being very fish-like, but over time they will develop lungs and arms and legs and be able to leave the water and spend part of their time on the land. Frogs like to float in the water. Here we can see an example of a leopard frog floating in the water. They make it look pretty easy. Here's kind of an interesting video of some frogs that are gathered looking at a smartphone of their favorite meal, which are worms. Watch what happens over time as more and more leopard frogs move in. See, the frogs are actually trying to eat the worms in the smartphone. And you can see that once the other frogs catch on that there's food available, there's a lot more frogs that join in the pack. So I hope you enjoyed this short presentation about the leopard frog, and there is a worksheet for you to fill out that you can learn the parts of the leopard frog and see that many of the parts we find inside the leopard frog we also find inside of our own bodies, such as heart, 2 lungs, livers, stomach, small and large intestine, and others. Thank you for watching.